Gunpla battlers from all over the world come out of the shadows for the World Tournament, and my review of Gundam Build Fighters, Episode 8. There were so many mobile suit battles and new characters introduced in this episode that it's almost too much to take. And what's really interesting about this episode right here is it barely featured any of the main characters whatsoever. It was focusing on a lot of these brand new guys who are getting ready for the Gundam World Tournament, and a lot of them are really interesting and have some really cool gunpla. One of them that they really focused on a lot was this brand new character by the name of Nils Nielsen, and he's an American Gundam fighter. And something that I think is really cool about this episode is they do specifically take the time to focus on these two American Gundam fighters, Nils Nielsen and this other guy by the name of Greco Logan, who has kind of a good friendly rivalry with Riccardo Fellini, and he really wants to fight against him in the Gunpla World Tournament, and he's going to do so with a really, really awesome Gundam model, and I'm glad that they chose something from Gundam Wing, because it makes sense why an American would use a Gundam Wing model, but he's using an upgraded Tallgeese, which has a green color scheme, and it looks really awesome. If you don't remember, the Tallgeese is from Gundam Wing. I think he calls it the Tallgeese Valkyrie. But the main focus is on this kid, Nils Nielsen, and Nils is basically like a genius. He's a prodigy, and he's studying the Plasky particles, which are the things that bring the Gunpla to life and are able to let them use their weapons and everything and fight in this like enclosed space. And he theorizes they can do a lot more with this technology, and the people that developed all of it, they're known as PPSE, and that also happens to be the group that Tatsuya Yuki is actually involved with when he got his new alias Kawaguchi. They go into it a little bit in this episode, but they keep it kind of mysterious, and that's what I liked most about this episode. It started to feel more kind of like a classic Gundam episode with all the politics and things behind the scenes. Not to mention we also get to go back to that one girl, Ayla, whose last name I won't even try to pronounce for you. But what I can say is that she's going to be fighting for this group known as Nemesis, and at first when they see her, they're not really impressed because I guess she's female, but she ends up completely whipping ass. She actually has a battle against the Devil Gundam from G Gundam, which I can't believe they decided to finally show that so early in the series, because it's just such a strange Gundam. It has a giant crotch laser, for Christ's sake. But she's able to take it out with a Jagan, which is basically a glorified powered-up GM, or a Gym. So, you know, he's pretty much screwed at that point, and that's when they prove that this girl is crazy. And even at the end of the episode, in a post-credit scene, you get to see that Mr. Rawl walks in while she's battling, and she is kicking ass in this really cool suit, and she's using an upgraded Cubile, which was used in Zeta Gundam and ZZ Zeta Gundam, whatever it's called. One of the coolest parts about this episode is getting to see the main battle with Nils Nielsen and Greco Logan at the American Gundam Tournament, and this is awesome. I love that America is getting such a strong representation in this episode, and they're not making them like too stereotypical. America, fuck yeah! Not to mention, Greco Logan, his entire design really reminds me of Guile from Street Fighter 2. So Nils Nielsen decided he's going to build a brand new Gunpla, and he created the Sengoku Astray, which is this upgraded Astray mobile suit, which looks like a samurai. And that sort of goes with his whole theme. They explain like a little bit about his backstory before he comes out into the battle, that his father is like a world-class detective, his mother is a martial arts badass, and because of that, he's inherited all of these abilities, and he's a friggin' genius too. Not to mention, he'll kick your ass in a Gunpla battle. And that's sort of what he does here, but that's not to say that Greco Logan doesn't have one hell of a match with him. He definitely proves that he's really, really good in Gunpla battles, and uses a lot of really interesting tactics. I like when the Sengoku Astray is flying towards him. He starts shooting at him at first, but that doesn't work, so then he starts shooting the boulders so he can create all this dust. But still, this Sengoku Astray is awesome. Like an actual samurai, it's using these two swords, and it's just cutting through everything. It even manages to cut through his beam DBZ style, which was just really awesome. But towards the end of the battle, like, the Tallgeese ends up getting destroyed. It gets its arms cut off, and then it starts to try to push him back with the boosters on the back. And then eventually the Sengoku Astray has this weird ability where it just powers up real quick. They don't really show you much. I'm guessing right here he's manipulating the Plasky particles in some form or fashion. But essentially he's able to destroy the Tallgeese in pretty much one solid move. There's a big-ass explosion. Rocks are going all over the place. It's pretty damn awesome. Definitely one of the coolest battles in the series. I especially love the fact that when he was being pushed back, he was using his two swords to brace himself in the ground. I don't know, just something about this battle to me was just really entertaining. And it was just frankly pretty well animated too. And it just made me realize, wow. The beginning of the series was kind of slow with some of the battles, but they're potentially going to get even crazier as the series goes on, because they introduce a lot of other characters at the end of the episode too. They do like kind of a whole montage showing you what everybody's doing around the world. You know, they go everywhere. They even go to, like, Argentina. They go back to Ayla. They go back to everybody. And they even go back to Sei in Japan, and he's still trying to work on a brand new Gunpla, and he's really trying to concentrate. Reiji's actually pissing him off at the very end. That Sengoku Astray is one of the coolest Gundams I have ever seen. Like, you know, of all the ones that I've seen in this series, you know, I'm not really a big Gunpla builder. Like, if you see them up top, I have, like, maybe 5 Gundam models, but after seeing this series, I would love to get a lot of the ones from this series. They're all just so cool. The Gundam Wing Fenris, the Sengoku Astray, and not even to mention that Tatsuya Yuki's actually going to be getting a brand new mobile suit. It looks like the Camphor from 0080 War in the Pocket, which is the most emotional Gundam series ever. Check it out. Seriously, when you're done watching it, you will start to cry. But otherwise, I loved this episode right here. I have 0 complaints with it. It was another stellar episode of this series, and I did not expect to like it as much as I did. You know, after watching Gundam Age, which is a pretty decent Gundam series, I was kind of left a little bit wanting. And when I saw this series for the first time, like the previews for it, I was like, oh god, this is gonna suck. But it's managing to be really, really entertaining. And, you know, with all the references and things, Gundam fans, obviously, I've said this before, you're just gonna love it. So check out this episode. A lot of brand new interesting characters have been introduced. A lot of cool Gundam battles, and I mean a lot of them. And it'll get you really excited for this big world tournament that's getting ready to happen. So no complaints from me. 10 out of 10. Pretty awesome episode. Keep up the good work, Gundam Build Fighters. So clearly I was fairly enamored with this episode. I thought it was pretty damn awesome. But did you guys like this week's episode of Gundam Build Fighters? Did you have any favorite moments? Any favorite mobile suits? What do you want to see in the future of the series? You can let me know with your comments below. And you can hit the like button. You know, give the video a thumbs up. It helps us out a lot. And you can see whatever we have floating right up top, or even check out our page. So, I will see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000, out.